So this is a good example for the midterm, which are stacked walls. And I have a situation here. The client has a flat site, but they wanted the lower level to have some sort of daylight coming in. And we started out by just building an areaway. And he said, I don't want to look at these walls. So we're terracing the retaining walls that'll hold the earth back so that he gets something a little bit nicer to look at. And then it's not just a flat wall that he's looking out at. He'll see some open space and maybe put some sort of vegetation in here, which will look good. So in the section, you can see that these walls will be different heights, but the exposed portion where the brick, I want the brick to look finished all the way down to the grade. And I want there to be a little bit of elevation of brick before the grade comes out. So there'll be flowers or something in here, but I don't want the grade to come any higher. So what I've done here is I've put some dimensions in here. So I know that this wall, I want this portion of this wall, which is what I call brick, meaning there's brick on both sides, because this is a stacked wall. I want that to be a foot tall. So I need to modify that. And then I want this portion right here, where there's brick on this side, this portion of it, I want that to be 3 feet tall. And this is my variable. The engineer and I have decided that it might be easiest for the contractor to simply pour the pad straight across for the retaining wall and then build from that. Now they might step them up too, that's their decision, but this is a Revit demonstration, not an architectural example. So anyway, here we are. I have to change the height. So this is a real key factor here. In order for these elements to be the height that I want them to be, I need to know what height I want them to be dimensionally. I put the dimensions in here. Now simply come over here and change that. So the height of that is a foot. Let's hit enter. And that's a foot. This brick ledge, this is a typical brick ledge, I want that to be 3 feet. So 3 feet. The last height doesn't matter what I put in there because it's a variable. I've told Revit that I want that wall to stop here and here. Those are the heights that I've given it is in the constraints. And now Revit will stretch the variable component to satisfy the wall heights that I put in there. So if I say okay and okay, let's see what happens now. Now look at that. Now this wall height is a foot. The brick exposes right to there. This wall height is 3 feet. The brick goes right to there. And then whatever's left is my stacked wall. So I'm very happy with that one. Now let's go over to this one. And that's a cap, which I had a wider retaining wall here until the engineer looked at it and said, we don't need to spend that much money on concrete in order to retain this earth. So I made it smaller. So I'll have to go back and make the caps smaller now too. But again, not a architecture design class. It's Revit, just trying to figure this out. So how tall do I want this to be? I couldn't dimension. I was having trouble dimensioning to the grade. So I put some reference planes in there. So I know I want this to be one of the heights. Well, look at that. It's a foot again. And then I want to come down and I want this height, but I can't snap here. So I'll go back in and architecture tab, reference plane, and I'll put in a reference plane, try to get as close to that as I can. Okay. And now I can put my dimensions in from here to there is a foot and to here is another foot. All right. So we can pull that apart. Pull that down, we can read it. This is, if you're in the class, you know I have 2 sections throughout the assembly of the model until I'm done and I want to actually present my work. I only have 2 sections. One is a front to back section, which I label FB, and the other one is side to side. which I label SS. So we're in the front of back section here. All right, so let's click on this guy. Whoops, let's click on this guy, edit the type, and can make him a little bit smaller. This is, I'm going to change the heights of these, so I don't want to keep this as retaining wall 3. I made this retaining wall 3A, I'll make this 3B. So I'll duplicate this and I'll call it 3B. So when I modify this wall, it won't change this one, it'll only change this one. So what did we say? The height of the brick is a foot, so we'll make that 1 foot. And the height of the brick ledge, see, now the wrong variable there. So we'll click on this, make it the variable, and then we'll change this to a foot. Now the reason that I'm not concerned about that is I've already told Revit where the top of this wall and the bottom of this wall is, where the top of this wall and the bottom of this wall is, constraint-wise. So it's going to give me this height, and it will stretch this last wall height to satisfy the constraints. So I'll say okay, and okay. Let's zoom in and take a look now. Look at that. This guy goes right to there. This brick ledge goes right to there. This stays down here because that's where I wanted it to be. Okay. Now this one is going to have to move up, isn't it? So what is it going to, this guy's going to go up to there. So let's see what we have to do here. This is a sweep, I think. So we'll edit the sweep. And I want to move this up a foot because it looks like it's right there. Yeah, so I'm going to move the profile up a foot, straight up, 1 foot. And then let's say okay to that. And then I need to raise the height of this wall by a foot. So if I click on this wall and I look at the constraints, let's make this a little bit bigger. What are the constraints? The base is going to stay the same, but the top is going to be up to the level grade -4. So if I want to raise it up 1 more, then I would say -3. 14 years of college was wasted, and sure enough, look at that. There we go. All right, so that's good. But what do I want to do here now? So I want this guy to be a foot tall, and then this guy, I don't have a reference plane in there to measure to, so let's put one in. I want, this one's good. This one's way down here. And it's too high. So let's click on this guy, and I'll just use the keyboard to nudge it down a little bit. All right, so now I can measure again. I know that this height is going to be a foot. That's what this will be. And then this height will be from here to here. So let's see what that is. We said this height's going to be from here to there, 3 feet. All right, so I'm going to click on this wall, edit the type, make it, duplicate it, make it 3C. Was it ABC? Yeah, let's make that 3C. Okay, and then we'll edit the height of that. This one I want to be a foot tall, 1. This one I want to be, my variable should switch to down there. And this guy, I'll make him 3 feet. Let's see what happens. Look at that. Now, this brick goes to right where I want it to be. That brick does the same. And then 1 more to go. And I'll do this 1 more time. I want the height of this to be a foot. So if I copy this up, 1 foot, that is, oh, that's right. That's the top of that. From here to here is a foot. And then this brick, I'm going to bring it down to this level right here. So architecture, reference plane, what is that level? I'll just bring a reference plane across. It looks like there might already be one, but I'll put another one in there right there. And so now I'll put my dimensions in. So I'm going to dimension from this reference plane to here, and then to here. Okay. Now I can see that this is going to be a weird number. Let's see if I can grab that. Should do it. All right. Neither one of those are doing it, but anyway. Oh, maybe this one. Yeah, there we go. That's a weird number. So I could make it 2'4". So let's do that. I'll make it 2'4". Right. So 1 foot, 2'4", and then whatever's left. Now the height of this wall is already set and it's fine. So edit the type, duplicate it. We're going to make it 3 ABCD. And then the first height there is a foot. The second height is, I forgot what I said it was. I can't read it. So I'll say that this is the variable. And we'll say okay. And okay. And it's 2'4" is what I said it was supposed to be. Now, normally I would measure that. So I'm going to measure, I would measure from here to here and copy that. So whatever that is, Control C. I've copied that to the clipboard now. And I can click on this wall, edit the type. I'm not going to change the name now because I've already named it 3D, but I will edit. And instead of 4 feet, Control V, that's really the height that it should be. And we'll say, okay. And let's see if it worked. Sure did. Look at that. Now all of my walls look good. So the purpose of this tutorial is just to show again, stacked walls are coming up for the midterm. And you want to be able to understand one of the important elements is just put your dimensions in so that you know what each height of each component should be.